Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and now I'm looking a slightly bit more civilized. As you see, I had a haircut and shaved a little, so now I don't look as much as a castaway or... Now, what was it? Tom Hanks, there you go. I don't look as much as Tom Hanks in Castaway anymore, so look at me, looking civilized. Oh my. Ooh. Anyway, I'm here to rant about, once again, which may become a trope on this channel if this keeps going as is, but... After watching what Carlin Borisenko said on her video, I've got to ponder. I think she has a point, and you will know why I think she has a point as I read this news, you see. Anyway, it's from post-millennial biological male set dominating women's Olympics weightlifting in Tokyo. Weightlifter Laurel Hubbard, who took home the gold in 2019 Pacific Games, will likely continue to break records at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Hubbard is a trans woman who will be competing in women's category in the international sporting event. As you can see here, it was a former male, and let me put it this way before I continue. And I need to do so on every single time I cover things like this, because I do not know who is watching or how often they have watched my videos, or if they know the background in science regarding this. There is a very huge difference between male and female in a lot of things. There's advantages of being male and disadvantages of being male. Not only societal things like that, I'm talking physical, biological differences, including there are huge advantages of being a woman and disadvantages of being a woman. That's why when men and women join together, they complete each other in marriage and things like that. But there is a huge difference. Males are stronger. We are taller. We have more muscles. Well, it connects with the being stronger thing, but still, we have more muscles, we have more bones in our body where the muscle mass can attach. For instance, now that I've shaved, and let's see, can see it? No, I don't think it's possible. Either way, if you're a male, you're gonna see that you have two hooks right around here. Meanwhile, if you're a female, you won't have those little hooks. You also won't have the excessive ocular protuberance over here. If you're a female, those places are attachments for extra muscles and more bulk and more strength and ability for the skull to process more stuff and to carry more weight, more structural integrity, if you will. Anyway, we males also have a hook. I do not know if it's... No, not possible. Anyway, if you're a male, you're gonna have a hook right around on your skull. If you're a woman, you won't have that. Right at the end of your skull. I'm going to see like a little protuberance in there. That's for the muscles on the jaws to attach itself for us, that allow us males to use the mouth as an extra hand to carry stuff. For instance, when we were hunting or when we were climbing, things like that, where our hands were busy doing other things, we would use our mouth to carry stuff. Well, meanwhile, women, they are much better at sorting things out because they have a tendency not to be as colorblind as men because of a certain biological advantage of having to sort out fruits and vegetables when we were still nomads. Well, still to this day, in a certain way, in which they have to differentiate what is ripe, what is not ripe in the berries and fruits in general. And on that, generated them to be more social creatures. Meanwhile, men we develop more spatial awareness. So, for instance, we could judge the distance a spear could throw, an arrow, or something else, or the distance we had to run to achieve and catch a prey. Or, for instance, as humans, we are an exhaustion-based hunters, as in, we may not be as fast as a tiger or as a lion, or things like that. But we have an advantage that all those animals, including herbivores, which are all prey, don't have. The ability to cool down instantaneously as we go through. Meanwhile, those other animals will have to stop, open their mouths, and pant like that. Why? Because that's how these animals cool down. We sweat. Those other animals do not. So that's a huge advantage that we have as a human species. That's why men we last longer while running. We can run much longer. Well, that's good. We can also run faster than women, because women would dedicate themselves to do that. Meanwhile, men, other things. That's why men are better parkers. Because of those reasons. And why we, as a man, we can, for instance, pinpoint a certain object, let's say, looking at where you're looking, your phone, or your screen, or your keyboard, you look at it, that thing becomes the focus, everything else becomes the background. Meanwhile, for a woman, everything else is part of the environment. The screen, etc., it's part of the environment. They don't see as background like we do. We have a tendency of focusing on objects. That's why certain times men get lost when I'm, oh, look what a beautiful thing. When women will notice and men, what? That's the thing. That's what happens. There's advantages and disadvantages. Even you can spot the biological differences when even switching TV channels. For instance, with women, they will switch, stop, look, maybe not. What did that say? No, let's switch channels. Well, man, bump, no. This one seems interesting. It's a easy thing. It's how we do. Meanwhile, women, while it does that, they have a tendency to sort out channels based on the qualities of what they deem appropriate to watch. The same thing happened with vegetables and berries, fruits, etc. Meanwhile, men would switch channels faster because we would switch and look at the prey down in the prairie or looking at a horde of animals, etc. And, oh no, this is sick. No, this is too strong. This will not. No. This one look hard. This one we should hunt. This should be a relatively easy prey. We go to that. That's why there's a huge, very, very huge difference between male and female. Which is why when you switch genders from male to female, yes, despite having testosterone blocks and things like that, there's still the advantage of you having gone through puberty and having your bone structure being developed as a male. You're still going to have the muscles as a male. Your system is still going to be male. You're still going to process things as a male, which is why trans women generally win easily over women. They generally do break records and things like that. Which is why I find this absolutely wrong. But let me finish this article, then I'm gonna address Karlin Borysenko's point, which I think it's a very good idea. Anyway, due to the new rules put in place by the IOC for the CCCCCP virus, Hubbard is basically guaranteed a spot on the New Zealand women's weightlifting team in the super heavyweight category because so many competitors were lost during the pandemic year. Hubbard, who at 43 would be the oldest weightlifting Olympian competing, hasn't yet been named to the team, but an International Weightlifting Federation insider confirmed to The Guardian that she would be automatically qualified because of amended rules approved by the International Olympic Committee. Once again, just a second, she made a very good argument that it turns out that I agree with. 1 second. Let me finish the article and I'm gonna tell you why. That insider told The Guardian that while teams did not have to be named until 5th of July, under the new qualification rules, which has come into effect after several competitions were lost because of the CCCCCCBBBBB pandemic, Hubbard was sure of a place in Tokyo if fit. Hubbard transitioned after entering adulthood as a male for 35 years, and retained all the advantages of having grown up male. See? Remember what I said in the beginning of the video. Hubbard has reduced testosterone levels to the point where the International Olympic Committee allows transgender athletes to compete against women. Hubbard's 2012 transition enabled her to win many titles over the biological woman for whom the competitions were made. See, that's why I do not know whether you should put a trans woman, maybe make their own league, separate of the Olympics between male and female, because this is definitely destroying female sports. This is definitely destroying them. For instance, many women would use sports and etc. to get scholarship for colleges and universities and things like that. And when you put a trans woman or a man gender competing it, well, that scholarship is now gone for that woman, because that girl, she may train incessantly, but she still won't be able to beat a trans woman who barely even trains to do anything. Even back in the day, when a couple of years ago, when the US soccer team actually competed against a bunch of high school students, 15-year-old high school students for a friendship match? No. It's one of those matches that have no... that's not regulated or anything by any set of organization. It's more of a... And they lost by the 15-year-olds. So you see the physical differences. It's amazing, isn't it, how nature works? But either way, let's go. Hubbard went on to take the gold in weightlifting in the 2019 Pacific Games, lifting 268 kilos, which was 7 and 13 kilos more than her closest competitor. Jesus fucking Christ! For comparison, the men's gold competition was won with a lift of 330 kilos. You can see the huge difference. Despite transitioning, despite lower testosterone, you can see the difference. Hubbard gave an interview in 2017 after placing second World Championship lifting event. The rules that enable me to compete first went into effect in 2003. Hubbard said they are known as the Stockholm Consensus with IOC, but I think even 10 years ago the world perhaps wasn't ready for an athlete. Sorry. No, I need to make a proper voice for her. The rules enable me to compete first went into effect in 2003. They are known as the Stockholm Consensus with the IOC, but I think even after 10 years, the world perhaps wasn't ready for an athlete like myself. And perhaps it is not ready now, but I got the sense at least that people were willing to consider me for the competitions, and it seems like the right time to put the boots on and hit the platform. The International Olympic Committee requires that males who identify as trans women who want to compete in women's events must have lowered their testosterone levels to 10 nanomoles per liter for a period of 12 months or more. Hubbard certainly qualifies under those criteria, but the IOC does not require that for a male undergoes so-called button surgery, or castration, or orchiectomy or vaginoplasty to compete in female sports. Hubbard, who trounced her Samoan female competitors in 2019 games, caught the attention of the Samoan Prime Minister who appealed to the Pacific Games Council. Taliapa said, "I made a public announcement on national TV. I questioned the legitimacy of allowing transgender to lift with women. It is not easy for the female athletes to train all year long to compete, and yet we allow these stupid things to happen. The reality is that gold medal belongs to Samoa." Agreed. The fight of the biological males competing against women in women's athletic competitions has become fraught. In the US, where many states have sought to ban practice, Caitlyn Jenner, who competed and won the Olympic Games as Bruce Jenner, said flat out that it's not fair for biological males to compete against women. And Caitlyn Jenner is absolutely correct. She is absolutely correct. Because there is no logical reason why you should allow that. Create a different league for them to participate or things like that. I am sorry, very, very, very sorry, but what you're doing here is it's actually damaging women's sports and things like that. You're actually doing that. Anyway, as both a former Olympian and a trans woman, her contribution to the conversation was not appreciated by detractors. Yes, she even got attacked, even by, what was his name? The guy who played Sulu. George Takei, there you go. See, I suck at names. Even George Takei actually attacked her. And remember, if they go through all the effort to actually look like a woman, and they are not doing the transgender thing just for attention, then you should actually use the proper pronoun of she and her, or him and he and him. But if they decide to use they, then yeah, that won't fly with me. You're gonna get labeled as a he or a she. I don't care. That's why. And if they are pretty much like the ma'am gender we saw on GameSpot, be prepared to be labeled as a he. But anyway, now that you know all of this, I'm gonna go address the Karlin Borysenko point. Because this means that more people is going to be aware of the shenanigans going on. They're going to see Hubbard here. Hubbard. Oh, don't you? Actually, you have the same surname of the guy who created Scientology. Anyway, they are going to see the shenanigans going on. The normies are going to wake up. And as you know very, very well, the more you expose the normies through this, the more it's going to become clear the shit that goes on, and the more people are going to be aware, and there's going to be a bigger and bigger backlash. So, I agree with Carly. This is a very, very, very good thing to happen. As you can see here, look how they look. The difference, physically difference. The quantity of muscles and things like that. Look. And they don't look happy at all to have lost to a biological male. Look, it's not right. It's not the right thing to do. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just not how things should work. And this is why I think Karlin Borysenko made a good point. In which the more people are exposed to this type of bullshit, the more people will convert and see, hey, this is not right. We should stop doing this. Let's switch back the way it was. Let's protect women's sports. And I think this is a good idea. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like more of this type of content. Stay right here on youtube.com/Jester for Karen stuff. And I just had to delete a video again on YouTube because of the commentary in regards to the female boobies in Spider-Man. So, that's the usual thing that is going on lately with YouTube. Anyway, if you like spicy content, head to bitchute.com/Jester or minds.com/Jester for that spicy and exclusive content. They also have a different thumbnail. And I'm thinking of giving myself the weekend off. So, see you on my next video, which should be up today. But, otherwise, see you on Monday. Take care and have a very good night.